Hello, 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 and welcome to Megan Di Martino Live, Hope and Possibilities. We are in our new studio. I hope you like it. I'm excited about it. It is a year that since we started um, all of these lives. It started really in the end of March, and then it evolved. And sometime in the latter spring, early summer, we started Unique Leaders. And so it's been evolving. And we decided to have a fresh new look. This past Friday's Unique Leaders was really almost a year since we started Unique Leaders Live. In the beginning, it was called something different, but it was the genesis of Unique Leaders Live. So I decided to talk today about change, the growth, the evolution, the power of change. Or is it? Change. Is it inevitable? Is it necessary to grow? What is change really? You know, a change feels like it could be a personal loss. It truly feels different. I read a quote in preparing for this. This is loosely based, the quote, but that with every gain, there is a loss. You know, the power of change. You know, with that one statement about it may feel like a loss, a personal loss, and it truly feels different. But I'm going to give you a little history. I'm in a photo studio, so I wanted to tie it together with photography. In the 1800s, photography started, and it was all about chemicals and a darkroom and process. And then in 1888, I believe, John Eastman started Kodak, or the beginning of Kodak. And photography as we know it today started to change or I should say, it evolved with a change of what we know today, that the masses can do photography versus this very specialized art, if you want to say. And then as time went on, then in the 1948 in that area, Polaroid came in, and I think the gentleman's name was Land, and he invented the Polaroid camera. So it was instantaneous. As I was doing research in 1953, and I remember my dad having a Polaroid camera. And I remember one Christmas, and it was probably around 55, 56, he got this camera, and we were at dinner with friends, and they were all taking photographs. I remember this very distinctly. And so that from a very, if you look back, like in the Titanic, they had those big poof lights and a camera taking it, you know, but it was a big box. And then it evolved to a more simplified version of that. And then it continued to evolve. Now, Polaroid was the inventor of this, you know, instantaneous camera that processed the film right there. But then in the 90s, when that throwaway immediate camera came out from Kodak, Polaroid sued Kodak. And they're in this very long, arduous lawsuit. And in 2009, in that area, Polaroid went bankrupt. Wow. Change, evolution. What happened? What they say is that Mr. Land retired in 1980. And at that point, he who was the founder and the, you know, brains and the passion behind it, stepped away, and others didn't grow with it. They didn't allow change to happen. They got stuck in being angry or all consumed by Kodak coming in with this different type of camera. But look at photography today of this phone right here, taking photographs immediately. What has happened to Kodak? You know, I mean, it's interesting. They're still in business, but what happened? Did they change? Did they pivot, as they say today? Did they evolve? I don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you this, that they could have, should have been part of this. And I didn't, in my research, I didn't go deeply into that, but there was an opportunity for them to get much more involved in digital. And they really felt it was not going to uh, change to evolve to what it is today. So it is about paying attention. It's about not holding on so tightly. Change is inevitable. Nothing stays the same. Nothing. The only thing that stays the same is the inerrant word of God. That's it. Otherwise, everything is continuously evolving. I personally, back to that, you might feel a personal loss with change. You might feel, that things are different. That's truth. Absolutely. So you have to go within and work with that. When I sold the spa this past year, people have asked me again and again and again. Get asked this question all the time. Do you miss it? How do you feel? I mean, and how they say it to me, this question, is that this was my identity. Well, actually, it wasn't. It was something that I started, I scaled it, I sustained it, and then I sold it. But it was more about my purpose, which is people, to help people grow. So what was the joyful piece to building that, to starting it and then scaling it and sustaining it, was my team and helping them evolve and grow. And in the midst of that, when I started that business in 2005, it was just an extension, really, of everything I had done before, which was product development, education, and consulting. The only difference was I was doing it for myself, but I had been educating that for many, many years before I started the Novitas Spa and Medical Rejuvenation Clinic, which was just the Novitas Spa on the Square when I began, and it changed, it morphed, it evolved. I allowed it to, just like the history of photography, that I always looked at the marketplace and saw what the consumer was looking for and what the scope of our license could do. So with that, I enabled my staff to grow and evolve with me and to learn and grow, that therefore they could take those skills with them as they continued on in their careers, whether they stayed there or not, that they could evolve and grow. But it started with that change. Change has to happen first, and then you or allow change to happen, and then it's kind of like a chessboard. I always look at chess because it's that move to the left, to the right, up, down, north, south, east, and west. It's not just a straight line. It's always analyzing what is going on, the market, the needs, our license, what can we do, and what can we do that fits with our core mission, vision, and goals and values. So that is so very important. As the weeks go on, we'll speak more about that, because change is part of life. And it is truly something that we need to understand, because otherwise we will always be resisting it. And to me, and I've said this before, it's to me, change is exciting. Change is something that again, back to the chessboard, it's, looking forward and seeing what is available in that dynamic where I can help you. I was reading something on Facebook this weekend, written by Denise Fuller, who was actually going to be a unique leader guest the last weekend of the last Friday of this month. And Denise Fuller has been many things in the professional beauty industry. She was the editor of Les Nouvelles Esthétiques magazine. She now has a company that does events for the spa industry. She's an amazing woman, and she's been through many, many things personally, as well as in her career. She wrote something very interesting on Facebook this weekend, with it being a resurrection weekend. And what she wrote was that there's a lot of information about Friday, and certainly a lot of information about Sunday. But what about Saturday? What about Saturday? And it wasn't that nothing was going on, but it's that quiet, small voice. You must be quiet to listen to that guidance, because in the middle of Friday and Sunday, there is that guidance of what is that next step. It's so important to continue to look at what is going on around you and not atrophying, because that's when you don't change. That's when literal or physical death will happen, meaning emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, every aspect and realm of your life, if you don't evolve properly. And as I said, when I did that research of photography and the beginnings of it, and the Kodak versus Polaroid, and then that Polaroid filed bankruptcy, it was fascinating to me because they got so consumed in negativity. And so I say to you today that don't look at the glass half empty. It's always half full. Even when you're waiting on Sunday, because it's in that pause that life happens. And pay attention to what is going on around you, for you, because those answers is there. It truly is there. So back to people asking questions, assuming that I'm heartbroken, or I'm missing it, or my identity is not there with having sold the Novitas Spa. No, on the opposite. It's a relief to not have that daily burden. It's joyful to be able to assist others more full-time and put new projects together like this to help you understand that it's in the motion. It's in that Saturday that the answers come, but you have to be quiet, but you have to keep moving. So start and don't stop. You'll hear that from me again and again and again. But the answers don't come immediately. They are in that pause of Saturday. I just loved it when Denise wrote that. You know, a lot of information about Friday, a lot of information about Sunday, but what about Saturday? It was quiet. So just pay attention to that, because when you are in conflict, when you're in a change, whatever that might be, could be a new job, an imminency of a new job or career ending, a divorce, a move, a myriad of things. Just look at those as opportunities, not as challenges. Change is an opportunity for growth. I asked earlier in this, is it inevitable? Is it necessary for growth? And the answer to both is yes. It's absolutely inevitable, and it is imperative for growth. As my title of the book depicts, hope and possibilities just over the horizon. It's never too early or too late to create the life of your dreams. So just know that there's always hope. There's never not. You can be in the middle of a battle, and I've known many, but you can be in the middle of that battle, but know that that's God's, in a sense, message to you, that there is always hope. Just keep going. And there's infinite possibilities, infinite. That's like the chessboard. That's why it's exciting to me, because, oh, if I go left, this will happen. If I go right, that will happen. Okay, well, let's analyze both and see, but not wait too long. Maybe take a step to the left and a step to the right and see if they come together, like on Saturday. So it is imperative to watch, to look, to listen, but then to take action. And on top of all this, trust. Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. That's the kicker, because we try to orchestrate it. Be quiet, listen, trust him. He is always directing your path. And in all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will take care of you. Thank you for joining me today. I just love being here with you on Megan Di Martino Live, Hope and Possibilities. Now you can go to my website on Wednesdays, in which this is live, but also then I have a blog and then an e-blast. So go to megandimartino.com and give us your information. That way you can be on our mailing list and receive my e-blast, which is a newsletter weekly, giving you tidbits of information and other things that are going on. So go to megandimartino.com. And I mentioned earlier about Unique Leaders Live. That is live on Fridays at 4 Central, but also a podcast on YouTube, and that is a couple days later. It goes live on, or goes up on YouTube. So just go to Megan Di Martino on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. You'll get notifications of when those are live. But go and listen, because it's so rich. Sharon Lecter, Glenn Lundy, Greg Reed, and so many, Heather Parody, Ryan Hartley, so many unique leaders that share their stories. You know, they say that success leaves clues. I don't want clues. I want the story. I want the whole story, because in their story, you see the essence of their success. So go to Unique Leaders Live. It is just a blessing. I've been going back and listening to many of my guest stories, and they just surprise me of how transparent and what they do share on Unique Leaders Live. So go to YouTube, subscribe to the Megan Di Martino channel, go to Megan Di Martino on iTunes and Spotify and all of the other platforms, and also go to megandimartino.com and give us your information. And lastly, I mentioned my book, Hope and Possibilities Just Over the Horizon. It's never too early or too late to create the life of your dreams. And it is now no charge for you. Just put your information in, and then you can download a PDF and read that story and share it with others, because I know it will bless some people right now, certainly right now, when there's just a season of change and flux. But change is not a negative word. It is inevitable, and it is absolutely a must for growth and for your evolution. So share this out as well. And thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. And we'll see you Friday on Unique Leaders Live. Be blessed.